Welcome back to HPL. We saw Ostkaka take a 1-0 lead over Kaldi here, and he did it with his signature Freeze Mage deck.
Yeah, I mean, excellent play from him at every single step of the way. Understood his game plan, and more importantly, understood the matchup and exactly how the game was going to pan out. Beautiful stuff from him in that one.
Yeah, so I'm churning through a ton of cards in the early game, and it allowed him to have, deck density at the end there to where he knew that he had a very good chance at drawing one of his outs or drawing an arcane intellect into his outs.
Yeah, so all the things going in Ostkaka's way, but this is still anyone's match, guys. Game 2, Kaldi versus Ostkaka is getting underway.
Yeah, get out there on Twitter, guys. Use that hashtag HPL. Let us know what you think is going to happen in this match, and if they're going to do something like this, a little bit of a curveball coming out of Ostkaka.
Very back and forth. Kaldi going the opposite direction, choosing to keep a more control-oriented deck here in Ostkaka. Once again, we talked about how he likes to mix up these aggressive strategies. He's come out swinging here in Game 2.
Yeah, I love this change from him. It's pretty much the opposite end of the spectrum. You're going from Freeze Mage to a Hunter deck. And it looks like Kaldi is going to go back to his old ways here, what he likes to do, and that's play with Warlock. And like we talked about before the match, he's going to be trying to kill all of the minions.
Yeah, all of them, indeed. Something that really is interesting about this matchup is that the Warlock hero power is something that's so powerful, but when you're having a lot of pressure applied to yourself, that hero power can become a liability. The fact that you're doing damage to yourself to try to gain an edge in that matchup. So this is really going to be a matter of whether or not Kaldi can handle the early board pressure and then kind of scale into his mid game with stuff like Sludge Belchers and anti-heal bots, and even Molten Giants to get those very big swing turns.
Ostkaka's hand is not very good here.
This is miserable.
Yeah, Kaldi needs a Twilight Drake really, really bad here in this matchup as well. It's really one of his best cards.
Yeah, I mean, Mountain Giant's not going to be a shortage of action either, because Ostkaka's got off to this slow start. No play on turn 2 other than either Snake Trap or Hero Power. Going to get his trap on board right away, maybe throw Kaldi off. Maybe he's going to think it's a freezing trap, and that will affect the way he chooses to play this game.
Absolutely. You're probably going to see Kaldi. I was going to say, there's a chance he gets on the board of Sunfury Protector, but let's be real. He's going to be drawing extra cards.
Yeah, I think that he understands that he has time to attack Ostkaka in the right position, so if he can get a Mountain Giant on board and then stick a Sunfury Protector behind it, he feels like he can proc that freezing trap and maybe turn it into a liability for Ostkaka. And then Leok, not the minion he wanted to see to start.
Yeah, not the minion you want to see. It's just nothing really going Ostkaka's way so far here in the early game. Doesn't come out to a blistering start, but you never know. This could be like a mid-ranged Hunter deck with some high-end stuff geared away into it. So he has a lot of good draws. Something like Savannah Highmane might be pretty good here over the next 2 turns.
2 3-drops also is, I'm sorry, 2 2-drops isn't too bad either. This is going to make his turn 4 a lot cleaner than it was looking in the past. And, these minions definitely have a sizable amount of attack because of that Leok. So making the best use out of it as he can. And I think, a card he wouldn't mind seeing at this point for Kaldi is something maybe like a Hellfire, but he's just going to use the Sun. Oh, he's going to Dark Bomb right away. So just getting the Mountain Giant on board and then looking forward from there. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't play the Sunfury Protector, but he wants to utilize his Dark Bombs and still going to bide his time and make sure that he can play around Freezing Trap accordingly, even though that we know it's Snake Trap.
Yeah, definitely. We know it's Snake Trap, and it's going to be a weird one here. I think it's going to surprise Kaldi a little bit this turn. Now, the Mad Scientist was a pretty big pickup here for his Cockluster. Now he's going to try to get this extra damage out of the bow here and make sure that he gets an extra charge here with the Snake Trap. We're going to see if Kaldi lets him trigger it this turn.
Yeah, in Kaldi's mind, I think he's got to believe that this is Freezing Trap in this spot. So I fully don't expect this Mountain Giant to attack, and Sludge Belcher will help stave off some of the damage here, but is it going to be enough? He's down to 15. He's getting close to that Molten Giant range, but so far no way to actually heal himself back up.
Yeah, it doesn't want to give him the extra proc on his bow either. Great stuff from Kaldi not attacking there. Again, we know it's not Freezing Trap, but we've seen this on HPL before. Players start playing around Freezing Trap because it's the most common one.
Yeah, and in this position, the fact that that trap is sitting there has bought Ostkaka way more than enough time to start getting this board under control. Shadow Flame's in Kaldi's hand, though. No shortage of ways to start clearing stuff out. But again, he's got to keep his life total in check, because if it falls too low, he's always susceptible to something like kill commands and quick shots.
Yeah, but Ostkaka might have to use a kill command to take care of this front half of a Sludge Belcher's turn if he wants to keep getting in the damage with his bow and his minions. So this is an interesting stress point for Ostkaka here. Do I save this kill command to go upstairs, or do I use it to kill the front half of the Sludge Belcher?
I would say with the second bow in his hand, he's not too worried about getting the extra charges off of it at this point, and it's really a matter of being able to push through taunts in the later stages of the game. He knows that there's potential for more of them to be coming, so to see him make this kind of a push, love the fact that he's doing this. Mad Scientist is going to chew through this Sludge Belcher token, and he's just going to get more damage out of his Wolf Rider, or just going to set up the bow instead, let the Wolf Rider do work next turn.
Yeah, and Kaldi gets a pretty good Mortal Coil target this turn and picks up anti-Keelbot, making this a very clean and good turn 6 if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, something else he wants to do, though, is he actually kind of wants to get low enough that he can utilize Molten Giant and Antique Healbot in the same turn. So he may actually take a little bit more damage here. It is a very risky proposition, though. He has to weigh the balance perfectly and make sure that not too much is getting through.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does this turn. As we said, he does Immortal Coil. He can still Molten Giant this turn. He can draw extra cards. He still has that Shadow Flame if he wants to do that. And, you know, he's got to believe, again, that this is Freezing Trap, so you might see him not attack again this turn.
Yeah, the fact that it's Freezing Trap, I think, is fully going to affect the way he plays this. Taunting him as Mountain Giant, Shadow Flaming away.
Love this play.
Yeah, and not only that, but if he believes that's Freezing Trap, he's going to be able to turn that into a liability with that Antique Healbot. So the Mountain Giant, quite literally just being an 8/8 Ancient Watcher at this point, you know, it can't attack as far as he's concerned. He believes it's Freezing Trap. Now that he's seen the second one down, he's got to know there's a Freezing Trap on his side of the board.
Yeah, he's got to know there's a Freezing Trap on the side of the board, but like, how does Ostkaka win from here?
I think he's got to start leveraging his own life to start chewing through this Mountain Giant. And that's not the position you want to be in, but what else can you do? You have to make a push at some point.
Yeah, I mean, attacking this Giant here, though, from this position just doesn't seem very good. Kaldi, I mean, you know he's probably not going to attack with it, but I mean, you just take 8, and then you don't actually get anywhere. You can't kill it with Kill Command.
I agree with you. He needs to save the Kill Command for reach at this point, but you know, maybe he's got to just rely on drawing an Iron Beak Owl to get this job done. But as far as this board position is concerned, Kaldi has played it almost perfectly to get to this point. The fact that he's just sitting behind this 8/8 taunt, he feels very comfortable. Yeah,
you've got to be comfortable from here. You've got to know there's a Freezing Trap on the other side of the board. And as you said, we got your 8/8 Ancient Watcher here with taunt.
Yep.
Ostkaka is going to start leveraging his life
total. Got to do what you got to do. There's really not much else to it.
So. Yeah, I mean, there's really no other play afforded to him here.
Yeah, I think Kaldi's got to be pretty happy about that attack.
Oh, second Molten Giant's a pretty good one as well.
I mean, this also is probably a turn where he's just going to play 2 Molten Giants and then start getting the work done here, because if he plays 2 Molten Giants, he's threatening lethal next turn. Now, is he going to Life Tap? Life Tap would actually be pretty interesting here, because that puts you in a position where maybe 2 Kill Commands can do it. Well, he's actually going to Dark Bomb himself. He wants these to be free, and he's going to play the Defender of Argus instead of the Antique Healbot. Really, really would be interesting if he chose to do that. Wow, actually going to leave himself in a position where 2 Kill Commands with a Beast could get the job done, but that would be a perfect range from Ostkaka, and look at that. The 2 taunts matter so much because Ostkaka drew this Iron Beak Owl. If he would have gone with the Antique Healbot instead, he would have been facing down some more damage.
He would be facing down a lot of damage. This Iron Beak Owl is a turn late. He can use it to silence one of the Molten Giants, use his Kill Command to kill the 8/5 Giant, but it's not going to be enough. He's still facing way too much damage on the way back.
That cannot be his game plan, I don't think, unless it's just absolutely no other way to stay alive in this position. So, you know, facing on this much damage, I fully expect him to Kill Command, but that's the last place he wants to be right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot of good options for Ostkaka here. I actually don't see a way that he can get back into this game from here. Besides, there's not. Yeah, I was going to say the Freezing Trap maybe could save him here.
It's very, very unlikely.
No, there's almost no way he can be saved here, right?
Well, if he Kill Commands in this spot, oh wow, maybe he's trying to feign Explosive Trap here. Actually, maybe it is Explosive Trap.
Yeah, we're not actually sure what the other trap is.
With Antique Healbot, though, he's going to be able to pad his life total and end up winning this game. But this is actually kind of a smart play here, because Kaldi's got to think about, you know, if he didn't have something like Antique Healbot, could he afford to attack this turn? And, you know, fortunately for him, he would have had Jiraxes to play around that anyway, but just all the tools available. Going to forego and attack this turn and rely on the one big burst from Lord Jiraxes that turn, and that's enough for Ostkaka. He's seen it in no way out of this situation, you know. Kind of the way that that Kaldi played this game, though, would have loved to see him just wait. Maybe Kaldi doesn't attack again, and you can just draw enough damage.
I mean, yeah, Kaldi was very patient. You could definitely see him waiting again through this entire turn. And you know what? The thing for me that game was Ostkaka's opening hand. It was not very good. You saw the opening hand, all 3 and 4 cost cards. It just got nothing going on turn 1 and 2. On turn 2, he just developed a Snake Trap that actually never did anything for the entire game.
Well, you say it never did anything, but it did kind of force Kaldi into not attacking with the Mountain Giant, so it did buy him some time. But that's not what he wants to be doing, is buying time with a 100 deck. He wants to be getting pressure on the board, and then taking the time away from Kaldi is really the bigger effect there. You know, if he gives Kaldi all the time he needs, he's going to find the right cards to beat you. So he needs to take that away from him, and the fact that his opening hand didn't have that pressure really made the difference in that game.
Yeah, that made the difference. The opening hand didn't have a lot of pressure. Like we said, that's what you want to be doing early with Hunter. So when we come back, we're going to have to see if Ostkaka can get back into this match here. Kaldi just, I mean, sorry, they're tied up here at 1-1. We're going to see if Ostkaka can get back into the winning ways here. The next person to win gets to put up match point. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.